Let's see if the phones work, shall we? Nick?
Hi, Todd.
Oh, good. Hey, Nick.
Hi, hey, my phone is going to clunk out, but I just wanted to make a point. I heard you talking about abortion earlier.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if you're aware of this, but the leading cause of death for women who are pregnant is homicide, being killed by the men that have gotten them pregnant. And if they truly want to fight abortion, they need to work on making sure women are safe.
Is that statistic true?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before, dude.
Yeah. I think if you really want to fight abortion, you need to, I think the pro-life movement is very maladaptive in the way they approach, fighting abortion. I mean, what are you going to do, make it illegal and prosecute the women? I mean,
well,
you've got to look at
wait, hold on a second, Wade. Why would we assume that prosecuting somebody for breaking the law is a bad thing? Why
you want women to go to jail for having abortions?
Well, if somebody breaks the law, what do you think we should do with them?
Okay. Well, at least you're being honest. Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, if you're going to make it illegal, then you should put them in jail.
Yes, sir.
But
well, I don't know what the punishment should be.
But
yeah, you're not for making it illegal?
No.
When do you think abortion should be allowed?
I'm for providing people with education and keeping. The way to fight abortion is to fight poverty and to fight ignorance. I mean,
I think I wouldn't disagree with you on some of those things, but yeah. I don't think that's the key issue, Nick. And Nick, let me just challenge you to see how consistent you are. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you think that there should just be education and fighting poverty regarding the issue of, you pick it, let's call it rape? Don't persecute rapists. Let's just try to educate them and make everybody's home life happy as a child so that they never commit that crime. Or should we arrest them and put them in jail?
That's a totally different situation. I think you're comparing apples to oranges.
Well, but what the line I'm trying to draw, sir, is that if it's wrong, it should be punishable by law. You just don't think that abortion is wrong, do you?
I think it's not the right choice, but...
Then you think it's wrong.
Right, but I also don't think the inside of a woman's body is part of the United States government and should be regulated. You're going to nationalize the inside of a person's body?
Nick, we do that all the time. We tell the rapists, your body has got to be used in this way and this way only. That's
different. That's somebody coming in. That's not the person making the decision about what's going to be done with their body.
Okay, but just because it's their body, that means nothing. The question is what's inside of their body. What about that person's body?
That person inside of their body is their responsibility, and it's not the responsibility of anybody else.
I agree. So what is it inside of that person's body? That's the bottom line question. What is it inside of the woman?
I'm not going to argue with you that it's life. It's life in there, but...
So wait a second. So a woman then should have the responsibility to do what with that life?
It's going to be up to her. I mean, I feel kind of uncomfortable as a man anyway, telling a woman what to do with what's inside of her.
Nick, it's okay. You can do that because you don't need to be that gender in order to make a value judgment on it.
Right. Well, I work in mental health. Okay.
Hold on a second.
So here, if I could just give you an example.
Mental health aside, now let's stay right with that. What's inside the woman? If it is a life, if it's a human being, then the woman has a responsibility, regardless of how she feels about it, to defend and protect that life and not to kill it.
But that's going to be, ultimately that's her decision. It's inside of her. It's not inside of anybody else.
Oh, so it's the location. Is that the issue?
Yeah, ultimately it'd be like, how are we going to regulate that? Are we going to investigate every time someone has a miscarriage?
Hold on, that's not really the point. We deal with figuring it out after the fact. We determine first of all if it's right or wrong. You see, to simply state that it's okay for her to do that because of the location is like me saying I can't kill somebody in Tennessee, but I can kill somebody in Missouri. Location is irrelevant. It's still a human being.
Well, Todd, could I give you just an anecdote? I would like to get your opinion on.
Let me, if you would, sir, let's just continue going down this road for a moment, because I think that there's another, the issue, the fundamental issue, Nick, is always what is it? And it doesn't matter where it's located. It doesn't matter about the level of development, because there's a lot of people who are born whose levels aren't developed as high as others, but we don't kill them. And just because what's inside of there is reliant on a woman is also irrelevant, because we've got people on a kidney dialysis machine who rely on it for living. The question,
what should a woman do then? Suppose we're dealing with somebody who is schizophrenic, living on the street, gets pregnant. A lot of people, have sex that are homeless in exchange for things.
Yeah.
So we've got somebody who's schizophrenic, but does have access to antipsychotic medication, who's taking that. This woman gets pregnant, either by rape or by, situations out of her control.
Right.
Or even if it was in her control, she gets pregnant, but she's schizophrenic and she's taking antipsychotic medication. She can't go off that medication. And that, so I'm telling you,
okay,
what if that person gets pregnant? What do we do then?
Let's make it the worst case scenario. To bolster your side, it's a psychotic woman who gets raped by a creep, and now she's pregnant. Okay, so the question then is, how do we respond to the crime? Do we punish the criminal and love the mommy, or do we punish the criminal, love the mommy, and kill a baby?
No, but I'm telling you, if somebody in that situation, the baby is not going to survive, do you force that woman to have the baby?
I don't know, whether that baby's going to survive. Just because it happened under a crummy circumstance, the question still remains, what is it that we're dealing with here? A human life, and nobody has the right to kill a human life, even if the location happens to be right inside of the woman. It is not a part of the woman's body.
How do we regulate that? How do we regulate that? I mean, that's the inside of their body.
Yeah. Well, how do we regulate it? We say that you can't have an abortion.
And then we imprison them if they do. Because it's murder then. Then it's murder and they need to go to jail for life.
Nick, if it's wrong, do you think that there should be a consequence for it? Of course we should. Now, what is it?
Yeah, if you think it's wrong, then
we can debate that as a separate. Well, we can debate that whether it's jail, capital punishment, whatever you want to say.
Should we give them capital punishment for having abortions?
You know what? Don't know about that, but there should be. If there's a crime committed, there should be a punishment by law. Of course there should. Nick.
Well, at least you're honest, because, you ask a lot of pro-life people, and they don't have an answer to that question, but at least you're saying that.
Nick, if what I'm saying is right, that it's a human life, and you agreed it's a human life in there, and the woman is responsible, and a doctor is responsible for taking the life, that is murder, sir. That's murder. Now, in this country, we have laws against that, and we have still a penal system that punishes people for wrongdoing. I don't know how this escapes that guideline.
What if a woman gets pregnant and she is using drugs and alcohol and the baby miscarries and dies?
Well, a miscarriage isn't an abortion.
Should she also be prosecuted?
Okay, that's a fascinating question. Let me ponder it. I don't know the answer to it. It maybe.
Because there's a lot of people that they don't have abortions, but they're not taking care of their body while they're pregnant. What are we going to do when someone's pregnant? Are we going to lock them up and make sure that they're taking care of their body right so the baby's born healthy?
Nick, let's say that there's a woman out there who's got a 7-year-old, and she's taken drugs, and the kid weighs about 48 pounds. He only eats a peanut butter jelly sandwich every other day. He doesn't learn anything except what he watches on Sesame Street. He doesn't get to see the sunlight. She's a terrible mom because she's taken drugs. Would we just say, oh, never mind? Or would we say, madam, you're doing wrong by that child. We're gonna deal with you. There's no difference between...
My phone's going to go. My phone's going to go, Nick, Todd. But just ponder that.
There's no difference between a 7-year-old outside of the womb or a 7-month-old in the womb, dude. They're both human beings.
Think of the legislation. How would we regulate that as a government?
Dude,
what kind of
we figure it out all day, every day. I think we can make our way through this one.
All right.
See you, dude. Bye-bye. It is a human being. The end. When you get into a debate on the issue is always, always, always going to come back to what is it? Is it hard to create laws like this? Nick could have taken me down a red herring road about 74,000 times and said, well, now how do we deal with this? We'll let the legislators deal with it once we as a society return from this land of being barbarians where we murder the most innocent of innocents among us. We figure it out when it comes to speeding. We figure it out when it comes to immigration. We figure it out when it comes to taxes. We've got big buildings revolving around this, and we've got a court system, and we've got plenty of lawyers who can wrangle their way through it. We'll figure it out. The question is, what is it, and what is it when you kill it? You've got to answer that question. And even if you're in the default position of, I don't know what it is, then we have to agree and say, until we do, we dare not kill it. Because even if we don't know that it's a human being, it could be, and that's enough. We're a race of monsters that are doing